Hello everyone, and welcome again to another edition of SQL Server 2022 Tips and Tricks Best Practices Part 4. In today's best practices we are going to talk about backups, so the way you can perform backups and the way you can utilize maintenance plans in order to actually cover backups, and not only that, because maintenance plans are a huge part of best practices. Okay, so let's start with the basic thing. So we have our database. In my case it's called SalesDB. If I want to take a backup of it, I just go to tasks, backup, and here we have the option of either full differential backup or transactional logs that we can take. So here we have media options to pick from, and backup options, which we are going to be setting as well. We can set backup compression if we want. Backup set will expire when it will be actually expiring. So these are the, I think, easiest ways that we can actually do a backup. So let's choose compress backup, general. I'm gonna do a full backup, and that's fine. And now we should have our backup here. So here's our backup with the back extension at the end. Okay, of course we don't want to remember and do it manually, so you should actually use jobs for it. So in order to use jobs, let's take a look at our security for a moment. Okay, so you need to have your SQL Server agent running. We got jobs here in the SQL Server agent. Yes, so in the jobs we are gonna just create a new job. We're gonna call it full backup of SalesDB. Next we're gonna create a step, just call it full, and here you just choose which kind of database you want to back up. So let's say I'm gonna be backing up only SalesDB. And I'm gonna of course do it with compression, because I want to save as much space as possible. Of course I need to change my path here, so I'm gonna do it this way. I'm gonna change the path, and there we go. I'm gonna take the schedule full. It's gonna be recurring, it's gonna be daily, and it's gonna be, let's say, it's gonna occur every 6 hours. And there we go. Basically we have the full backup of our SalesDB created here. The same kind of way we can create a differential backup. So a differential backup is going to be only writing down the changes that were recently happened. I'm just gonna go to my notes. Okay, and now once again I'm gonna set the schedule, differential backup, daily. Let's say it's gonna occur every hour. And there we go, here is our differential backup. Okay, let's choose a new job. This is gonna be the last one. And we're gonna create actually the transactional logs here. So it's gonna be a transactional log backup. So let's just call it okay. Let's create a new step. Right, and now we're gonna just choose the one database that we wish actually backup the transactional logs for. Once again, I'm gonna change the path here. That's fine. I'm gonna do a schedule, new. Okay, it's gonna be daily and it's gonna be occurring every, let's say, 10 minutes. And there we go. So this is why I'm showing this way, because that's the second way you can do backups. The first way is, like I said, the manual way. Second way is just by creating jobs manually like this for specific database or databases, whichever you choose. Of course, full backups, differential backups, and transaction log backups. But like I mentioned before, the most utilized and I think the easiest way to actually take care of your database and your backups is a maintenance plan. So it's good to know that you are able to do the jobs like this, to set them up like this, or to utilize the manual way. But of course, I'm just gonna delete this right now, and we are gonna create a maintenance plan that is gonna then appear in our jobs. What's gonna be the maintenance plan? So in the management, if we go to maintenance plans, you can refresh. We don't have anything. So now we're gonna go to maintenance plan wizard, because it's really easy. Always choose the wizard. Here I'm gonna just call my maintenance plan, let's say SQL database backup and cleanup daily. Let's say overnight, right? Because overnight is best because there is less traffic usually. Okay, so we're gonna choose, of course, we're gonna run this with the SQL Server agent. Let's take a look at our schedule. So this schedule is gonna be set for this whole thing, for this whole plan here. So we're only scheduling this one thing when it's gonna run, and of course it's gonna run daily, and it's gonna run at night time, right? So it's gonna run just, let's say, at midnight in my case. Okay, so I guess I cannot use those, so I will just maybe say it like this: overnight, right? Okay, so now you are choosing the tasks that are going to be included in this maintenance plan. So of course we want to have a full backup done every day at night time. At least I want it to be done. Then I want a maintenance cleanup task as well. I want to have a checking the database integrity as well. I want to clean up the history. And depending, of course, on which kind of SQL Server edition you have, if you have the Enterprise edition, you can choose the rebuild indexes. If you have the standard edition, you can choose the reorganize indexes. I'm just gonna choose the reorganize indexes. You just have to remember that reorganizing indexes actually takes tables offline. So rebuilding is better because those tables are actually online and they are being rebuilt as they go. And reorganizing means that those tables are going basically down, they are disappearing, and then everything is being done on them. So it's up to you if you want to choose this option actually or not. Of course, it's best to do it, I think, at night time, because actually most of the stuff is happening daily. Sometimes maybe nightly, but depending on the database, of course. Okay, so we're gonna go here, and what do we have here? Well, this is the priority window. So which task should happen first? So of course, first of all, I want the full backup to be made. So I'm gonna move it up. So this is the first thing that is gonna run, the full backup. After this, we're gonna check the integrity, then reorganize the index, clean up the history, and maintenance cleanup task. Okay, so first of all, we are greeted with the first task, which is, of course, the full backup. So we're gonna choose here what we are gonna choose. You can either choose a specific database, but you just need to remember that if something changes in the system databases and you're not aware of this change, then you might have a huge problem, because you will have only let's say backups, full backups of particular databases, but you won't have the system databases included, and you didn't have the things that were changed by somebody else in the system databases. So I would recommend just do all databases and ignore databases when the state is just not online. Easiest way to not not to have any kind of errors. Destination. Of course, it should be practical to put your database backups somewhere in a different server, dedicated backup server. You shouldn't be hosting them on the same server that has SQL, because when this server goes down, your backups are dead and you have a huge problem then. Of course, I'm gonna be hosting them here because this is just a test environment, so everything goes to backup on the second drive. And I'm gonna create subdirectories for each database. Backup file extension is gonna be back. Next, we're gonna go to options. Here we're gonna choose compressed backup. It's good to save as much space as you can, of course. Backup set will expire. When the backup set will expire, you can choose when it actually expires. Now, what are we gonna choose here? I'm gonna choose perform checksum, because this doesn't actually take so much time, and it's very helpful. Continue on error. Why I'm choosing this option? Well, because if one of my backups is not done, has some kind of errors during the full backup process, the other databases are gonna be still backed up. So it doesn't matter that one of them didn't back up, you still have the full backups of other databases. Without this option, it might actually stop on one of them and you won't have those databases backed up. Well, I'm not gonna check this verify backup integrity, because what it actually does, it actually takes quite a lot of time to do this. So your maintenance plan can take quite a lot of time if you actually do the backup integrity. So it depends on you if you have time to do this task for a long time overnight, or you have um, like a significant small amount of time to use. So if you don't have enough time, don't choose this option to check the integrity. You'll be quite fine with those options, but if you have quite a lot of time and you have quite a lot of juice in the server as well, because this is gonna take some juice out as well, you can check the integrity. Okay, next, define database checksum integrity task. Once again, we're gonna choose all the databases. We're gonna ignore that those ones that are not online, and I'm taking the physicals only. I'm leaving all the databases. Okay, define reorganize index tasks. So here I'm gonna of course choose all the databases once again. I wouldn't mind about this because this is just the default settings are just fine. Don't mind if you actually leave them on default, that's fine. If you want to meddle with them, go ahead, but I think you can just leave it as it goes. Okay, and define history cleanup. So this is very handy. You're gonna be cleaning up all the backups, all the old logs, and other things that are not needed. Uh, it depends on you how all the things you want to actually clean up. You can either have like 4 weeks, you can have 2 weeks, 1 week, depending on how long you want to have those things on your server. Well, I'm gonna just choose for let's say 2 weeks. So after 2 weeks, all backups are gonna be cleaned up. As SQL Server history is gonna be cleaned up, and other things as well. And here we have defined maintenance cleanup task. So this is for backups. So we got backup files, and where the task should look for the backup files. Well, in my case, it's gonna be looking on the E drive because that's where I'm hosting the backups. You shouldn't, but I'm doing it just for the purpose of the video. And file extensions. Well, file extensions are of course back. Include first level subfolders as well. Delete files based on the age of the file as the task runs 2 weeks. Okay. Write a report for the maintenance plan. Well, you can write the report, let's say, let's say data should be here. It's going to be write the report on the data folder. You can of course choose email report if you want, if you wish. You can set it up so basically every time this maintenance plan goes, and it goes every night, you're gonna receive a email notification after it finishes. And there we go, that's the summary of all of your tasks in this maintenance plan, overnight maintenance plan. Okay, so as you can see, everything succeeded. And now if we actually refresh, we have the maintenance plan here. And here in our jobs, we should also have our subplan. So if we click on it, we have all the things scheduled here. Alerts, notifications, targets. You can meddle with it, you can change it if you wish. Okay, so basically that's the one thing you can do. And the second thing, well, transactional logs, right? So we should actually create a plan for transactional logs. So what I'm gonna do, let's call it just transactional logs, and I'm gonna do it while recurring. Of course, it's gonna be daily, and it's gonna occur, let's say, every 10 minutes, or maybe even every 5 minutes. Why every 5 minutes? Because users won't actually feel it. Because the smaller the task, let's call it the smaller the amount of the task, and in 5 minutes the log is not going to be that huge. So the users won't feel a thing probably, or maybe a little bit, because the bigger the time, the huger the log, and yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna set it up like this, and now we're gonna actually hmm, we're gonna choose backup database transactional logs. Okay, and now we have the definition here, which I'm gonna choose all the databases. Once again, destination is gonna be in the backup. And here in the file extension, well, since we have actually created an overnight maintenance plan that is gonna run every day, and in 2 weeks it's gonna clean everything out, it's gonna search for special extensions. Because the extensions that it's gonna clean, and it's here specified in the previous plan, and the extension was specified and it was called back for backups. So if you don't change this to back, it won't actually scratch or clean up the transactional logs. So bear in mind that you need to change this. It needs to be similar to the first plan, because otherwise all of those logs are going to be just left out. Okay, so now I don't think we need a report for that, because it's gonna run every 5 minutes, so I don't think you need to have like reports every 5 minutes. Let's finish, and there we go. So that's the fastest and the easiest way to do maintenance plans. This is a bulk maintenance plan that you have a couple of different tasks every day. And this is the transactional log maintenance plan that runs every 5 minutes to keep as much data logged in as possible and in smaller chunks, so your users won't feel that much of a inconvenience using different kind of stuff. Just remember while doing this plan, always take all the databases, because if you don't include the system databases, like I said before, somebody might do some kind of changes, and when you are not aware of them, and then you're gonna have a problem, because when you're trying to restore the backup, you might have something that you didn't actually uh, have, or maybe you weren't actually even notified about. Okay, as always, if you like the content, like and subscribe. I will see you in the next video about best practices. So until then.